All right, Mr. Chair, you're all good.
Okay, everybody slot in. All right. All right, we're good to go, Shane.
Good to go.
All right, so it's Wednesday, May 6th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. and we have quorum, so I'll go to item one and call the Bridgewater Planning Board to order. So this meeting is being held remotely. There is no in-person attendance of members of the public this evening, and every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time. This meeting is being recorded. And within 48 hours, we'll post a link of the recording on the town's website and or other social media page. The following members of the Bridgewater Planning Board are here this evening. I'm Patrick Driscoll, the chair, Mr. Stephen Geller, Mr. Thomas Pratty, Mr. Dan Greenberg, Mr. Eric Costa, and Mr. Chris John Fabrowski. Because it's remote and we're not together, all votes will be roll call votes. And the following Bridgewater town staff are with us, participating remotely as well. Mr. Shane O'Brien, he's our town planner, Mr. Greg Tansey, the town engineer, and Mr. Stephen Solari, our building commissioner. So at this point, everyone's mics are muted. The board's mics will be unmuted through the whole meeting. And as items appear on the agenda, the project's representatives' mics will be unmuted. If the project is a public hearing and allows for public comment, we will have a public comment period. We ask that you either put your name or a question in the chat or use the raise the hand feature if you'd like to speak. When you speak, we just ask that you state your name and address for the record. And the chair, who's myself, or Mr. O'Brien, who's the host, will recognize the questions in order or the hands in order. You can use, again, you can use the raise my hand feature in the participant menu, and you'll be unmuted when Mr. O'Brien unmutes you. And please state your name and address for the record again. And if you're on the phone, you can dial *9, I believe, to raise your hand as well. So um, we don't have Mr. McDonald with us this evening, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so Mr. Pratty did, we're going to go to item two, I should say, before I go to item three. So item two, we do have a public hearing. This is a zoning amendment. This is ordinance DFY 260-4, an amendment to the CBD zoning regulations. This was continued from our last meeting, April 15th, 2026. So this is still a public hearing. The counselor, Loretti, that sponsored this, um, is not on the council any longer. The council still does want to see it move forward. I did speak with a couple of counselors. One is going to continue to sponsor it. He's going to take over the sponsorship of it. And at our last meeting, we said we'd provide an update with the changes or the inconsistencies that we saw. So Mr. O'Brien's working on that. And there needs to be a new CED committee formed. I did speak with a couple of the potential CED members, and they would like to have the meeting with us. So Mr. O'Brien and I spoke briefly about this today. Shane, I think we might have to push it out two meetings, but just to keep the public hearing on the agenda, we can push it out to the next meeting and see if they get things in order by then.
Absolutely.
So the next meeting is June,
May 20th.
May 20th. Okay.
Yes.
Do we want to go to the June 3rd meeting just to make sure, because will the council have time to rearrange everything they need to rearrange? Or
I have no idea.
okay. So why don't we put it on for the May 20th? But if we need to
Yeah, because we can,
push it
yeah,
out
we can,
about 2 weeks, we can. So
yeah,
we'll keep the public hearing open. It looks like the ordinance is going to stay exactly the same. Um, it's just there has to be some new sponsorship and whatnot. So all right. So is there any discussion on this from the board? Would somebody like to make a motion to continue it to May 20th?
So moved.
So moved.
So why don't we go, Mr. Geller spoke first, is that correct?
Yep.
And Mr. Pratty spoke second.
Yes.
Just for the record, Mr. Pratty was not at the last meeting, but did submit a Mullen form and did watch the long meeting that we had last time. So he will be voting. So I'll take the roll call vote. Mr. Fabrowski,
Yes.
Mr. Greenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Praddy,
Yes.
Mr. Geller,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, so moving on to item 3. We have 4 special permits under item 3. The public hearing is closed. This is for us to deliberate. I'll open so we don't, the public hearing is closed, so we don't have to open any public hearing or anything. So we're in a deliberation. So just to give an update on this, and I don't know if Mr. O'Brien spoke to the applicant, but both Mr. O'Brien and myself, after we discussed this last time, spoke to Attorney Rollins about the possibility of conditioning it to have one condo association and tying the 4 special permits together. Attorney Rollins kind of agreed completely with Mr. Solari in the last meeting. They're separate lots, they're special permit, they're 4 separate permits. They could have all been turned in individually. So basically, the most we can do is, if we want to, is recommend it, but it can't be a condition that has to be on there. So we are in deliberation on lot 1. We can start that deliberation on lot 1. The public hearing has already been closed. So does anybody have any comments or feedback, or can we have some discussion on lot 1?
Yeah, I'd like to throw my 2 cents worth in. I did watch the meeting last night, and I completely understand the reasoning for tying them all together. I can't tell you how many times I've driven around, not only our town, but other towns, and seen side-by-side boxes with 2 front doors, 2 side doors, and a complete mess of a house. Either half of it was painted and the other half wasn't. I've even seen where half of it was roofed and the other half wasn't. So you really have to look at, Mr. Falconeri, how proud you will be of that in 10 years when you're bringing your grandchildren around to show them what you've built, to see a product that it could turn into. And I won't say you have the opportunity to stop it now, but you can certainly direct it into a better looking project. And I think that's all Pat and the board really wants from you, is that it's something that you want to be proud of. It's something that the town wants to be proud of. You're putting a lot of money into it, and you want it to be there for the long run, looking good. So it's my opinion, although you don't have to do it, that it is the right thing to do and a wise thing to do. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Any other board members? We're not engaging with the applicant or the public anymore because it's just our deliberation. So, any other comment?
Yeah, I think we all kind of feel similarly. But I think it's a good project in general, and I'm ready to move it forward.
Yeah, I would agree with both your comments. I think it's a good project. I think it's a nice house design. I think they've done nice site work. My concern, and I was recently involved in a project where we did do the 2 lots as one condo association. It worked out great. But my concern is just what Mr. Pratty said, and then also, there's 1 septic tank and 1 field, and there's 1 well. There could be a lot of expenses there, and there could be a lot of conflict. And I just think that 1 condo association would keep the values up higher, maybe even get a higher value in terms of sale, and keep everything maintained. But like I said, we can only, and if we decide to put it in the decision letter, it can only be a recommendation. It's not a condition that he has to check the box to complete. So, I mean, I think based on the last 3 meetings, and Mr. Falconer is here, I believe tonight, I think he knows where we stand, but how he handles it going forward is up to him and his business. So, anything else? Shane, the only thing I looked at the planting schedule. I went over the grading and everything, and they updated all the roof drains and whatnot. Um, the wells were put on there. Do we get into, I mean, I think if it's going to be a common septic system, and again, this is a Title V issue, I don't want to overstep, but I think there should at least be two tanks, one tank for each house. But is that something that,
We've
that
had I've had discussions with the health director about this, and I think it's more so through his jurisdiction and kind of his
uh,
viewpoint on that. As long as it meets the Title V requirements, I think it's um appropriate what they're proposing. We've had different situations. I think that we had a project on Broad Street, Zero Broad Street, that did have the one tank too. But I think we just want to acknowledge that the HOA or the condo association, you know, is aware of, their responsibilities to maintain it. So, um,
and I saw a while ago, I haven't looked at them recently, but condo documents were submitted already, correct? We have those.
yeah, that was submitted,
Yeah.
I believe, at the first meeting.
I believe he's just required to do a two-part tank, two compartment tank.
All right. All right. So, um, Shane,
Yeah,
in the zone, in the decision letter you sent out,
yeah, I'll share it so people can see.
did you put in there that a finding that these are not going to be connected to town water and sewer?
I believe what we typically would do, Mr. Chair, is that it would be acknowledged the findings of fact. So, in my memo, I put, that is going to utilize well water and septic tanks. So
Right,
typically,
but in the decision letter, I want to make it clear that these are subject to, wells and septic systems. And if, unless something changes. So we're not endorsing or approving any water or sewer connections.
no, I would say number 9 is all connections to municipal infrastructure are subject to Department of Public Works and Engineering standards and approval.
But I just want to, personally, I just want to have a condition in there that this project is approved based on private wells and septic.
Yeah, should we just do that as I'm trying to differentiate. What I typically do for these decision letters is not necessarily as a condition, but the approval is based on the set of plans received. So
Yeah,
it's
but I just with the environment and if I were Mr. Falconeri, I'd rather tie into water and sewer. And if he can at some point, he can just come back to us and do a minor modification and show us where the lines are going,
all
right?
right. We can just add it as a general condition that plan is,
Because
is
I read a couple of the other decision letters you wrote, and you wrote that, and just we can talk about this, that they may tie into water and sewer. I think that we should get that. We're not endorsing water and sewer at all. We want the plant. It's when we spoke to Jason Rollins about the water and sewer situation, it basically had to be a conditional approval.
sure.
So I just wanted in there that this project is conditioned upon the installation of wells and septic systems.
Sure, that's fine.
And then
Just
and then other projects that we have before us this evening, which we can talk about later, are conditioned upon the successful um, obtainment of a water and sewer permit. So I don't want to put in these decision letters, and this is just me. I would get other feedback from. I don't want to put in here that we're saying they may tie into water and sewer at all. That's something they have to work out with water and sewer, and the permits are conditioned upon that, or wells and septic.
understood. And I think honestly, that's typically the case, I guess, what we assume for most projects anyways, because you guys approve projects, but you don't essentially approve any water and sewer connections for each project. But yeah, if we want to add it as a condition, I have no issue with that. I could throw that in there,
Yeah,
Mr. Chair.
and I'll agree, and I've said it in the past too. Just I think eliminating any ambiguity of whether or not we are giving any kind of decisions about water is just I think it's to our benefit to steer clear of that for now.
Yeah, and it's to Dan's point. Like one of our jobs is to determine adequacy of utilities, and one of them is water and sewer. And we can't determine that on some of these projects. This one is going to have to provide a well and septic. So they have to be conditional permits. That this one's conditioned upon the installation of wells and septic systems.
Understood.
And I think Mr. Solari said, and Mr. Solari, they would have to provide a potable well, and the results of that before they could even get a building permit. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have to have something from the Board of Health saying that the well is, meets all the standards of potable water.
So Shane, we can work that out. I mean, I think it's on the record that
Yeah, I think the conditions that I put in and just adding that additional thing should be fine.
That would be classified as a minor modification, as a change.
Well, any change in to be completely honest, any change in plans for a special permit requires a public hearing. So if there were ever any changes for some reason for these plans for these individual lots, it's going to require a modification back before the board, but with renotice, rehearing, all that stuff. That's typical for all special permits.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe, I mean, I think in the situation we're in, if they do have access to water and sewer, I mean, we can waive the town fees, so to speak, for anything like that because we're in an unusual situation. So we could consider that, right? I mean, except for the advertising fee. But it's up to you guys, well, all of us. But all right, so I just want that's my main thing here is, hey, put a recommendation in. It'd be nice if you could combine them all, but it's not a condition, and water and sewer is private at this point, and that's it.
Alrighty,
You and I can work on cleaning up those conditions before I sign it.
sure thing.
Anything else from the board on this?
So I think we're going to have 4 separate votes, Mr. Chair. But we'll take motions and seconds, but I guess those motions and seconds can be based around what you just said.
Well, I guess let me ask the board. So, did you guys consider that discussion on all 4 we're deliberating on, or do you want to have the same discussion 4 times?
I consider it one decision for all 4.
Well, it's going to be 4 decisions,
I
right?
know that, but we can,
But the conditions,
It's the same,
they're
yeah,
all
it's the
gonna
same
be-
conversation for all 4.
same conversation.
Yeah,
for all.
I think the only other, I think there's one that has to go to Concom, but that's in there already that they have to go to Concom. So,
Mhm.
all right, so we'll add those. We'll add that recommendation, and then we'll add that condition that it's private, water and private
Septic.
septic, and any changes in that require a modification before the board. All right. All right, so I had my agenda here.
It's a
All
lot.
right, we're deliberating on lot 1, which is they're all the same map 11, lot 71. This is for a special permit and a site plan. So Shane, can we take the vote, one vote, or does it have to be a special permit vote and a site plan vote?
Just one vote's fine.
Right. So for lot 1 Oak Street, with the conditions Shane provided and adding some of the language we discussed tonight, is there a motion to approve or deny lot 1 Oak Street?
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
And that's the special permit and site plan, correct?
That is correct, yes.
So by Mr. Pratty. Do we have a second?
Okay.
By Mr. Geller. Yeah. I'll take the roll call then. Mr. Fabrowski,
Yes.
Mr. Greenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Pratty,
Yes.
Mr. Geller,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Okay. All right, so moving on to lot 2 Oak Street. Again, this is a special permit and site plan approval. We closed the public hearing. I would just say that we want to have the same conditions on lot 2 that we have on lot 1, and the same recommendation that we have on lot 1, also on lot 2. Is that correct?
Agreed.
Agreed. So moved.
All right, does somebody want to make a motion to approve with that extra
Oh,
condition?
Tom made that motion.
Tom Pratty made that, okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Greenberg, okay. So, motion by Mr. Pratty, second by Mr. Greenberg. Add the water condition and the recommendation. And we'll go to the roll call. So I'll start with Mr. Geller,
Yes.
Mr. Pratty,
Yes.
Mr. Greenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Fabrowski,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Okay, so lot 3 Oak Street. Again, we're in deliberation on this. Again, I think we should clarify the water and add the recommendation about the condo association. This is a special permit in the site plan. Do we have a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Pratty, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Geller, any discussion?
Nope.
Okay, so I would, Mr. Fabrowski,
Yes.
Mr. Greenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Pratty,
Yes.
Mr. Geller,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. All right, last one, lot 4. We're in deliberation on this one. Public hearing's closed. Special permit and site plan approval. Again, we want to add the water condition we discussed for lot 1 and the recommendation to have a condo association for all 4 lots. A condo association, one condo association for all 4 lots, but again, it can't be a condition. Do we have a motion to approve?
So
Motion
moved.
to approve, Mr. Chairman.
By Mr. Pratty, do we have a second by Mr. Geller? Is that here, Mr. Geller?
Yes.
Any discussion? Okay,
No.
so I'll take the roll. Mr. Geller,
Yes.
Mr. Pratty,
Yes.
Mr. Costa. Oh my God, Mr. Greenberg
Yes.
and Mr. Fabrowski.
Yes.
Okay, great. So those 4 are closed out. So Mr. Falconer, thank you. And sorry we held you up a couple of weeks, but we just wanted to make sure we
I
get
understand.
the right opinion. So
I totally get it. No problem.
thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you.
I
luck.
appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right. So Eric, just you're on, right? If we need you for a vote, did you watch the meeting or no? Just so I know.
Well, I would say that Eric can participate in 96, can't participate in 292, because Eric was at the meeting for 96, but not 292.
So I want to make sure though that we have, because we're going to open the public hearing for 96 next, right? So was everybody here for all the hearings, just for voting purposes? Was everybody here for all the hearings for 96? We only had one hearing, correct?
Yeah, that hearing, everyone was in attendance, and that was the April 5th. No, that was, I apologize, March 18th.
Right.
Yes.
Was everybody here for that meeting? And if they weren't here, did they do a mull?
I think everyone was in attendance for that meeting. I think we had a full crowd.
Okay, and Mr. McDonald is still not on, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. All right, so we'll just keep it going this way then. And who was at the site walk? Was it Mr. Fabrowski and Mr. Costa? Did you make the site walk?
I did, I apologize. I did provide a copy of the draft minutes, that it talks about who was at the site walk.
I know Mr. Fabrowski was at the site walk. Did Mr. Costa show up after I left?
I don't.
Eric, did
No,
you
I
do-
wasn't. I wasn't there. I was in Florida. I was on
All right,
vacation.
yeah, so all right. So I'm gonna have
I was there.
Chris John vote on that one then, all right, Eric?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So, sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure before we open the public hearing, we knew what we were doing. All right. So item 4, this is a site plan approval, public hearing. It's 96 Main Street, map 21, lot 27. This is, proposed by 96 Main Street Development LLC for a special permit and site plan approval under section 9.6 and 10.6 of the Bridgewater zoning ordinance to construct a mixed-use building with 16 residential units and 3 commercial spaces. And this is continued from the March 18th meeting. So I know we did receive updated plans and we're still in the public hearing. So Is there anything that the applicant would like to update us on, or we can have Shane allow you to share the screen if possible?
Yeah, we have updates to share.
Sure. And just, we know who you are, but could you just introduce yourself and your team for the record?
Yes. Adam Jaspin, Centerline Development, 60 Parkway, Marshfield. And we have with us my business partner, Brian Jaspin, um, our civil engineer, Bob Forbes of Zenith Consulting, our architect, Kenji Crawford of Context, our attorney, Matt Eckel of Fletcher and Tilton. And I will share. Okay. Mr. Chair, members of the board, good evening. I've introduced the team already. So on March 18th, we were before you for site plan review and special permit. At that time, we had received technical review comments from the town engineer. All of those comments have been satisfactorily addressed by our engineering team. At that time, the town engineer also expressed that we would need to have him out to witness test pits. That has been completed. The board also requested a site visit, which we completed as well. During the hearing, the board had a few concerns expressed, mainly being snow storage and a retaining wall detail. Here I've got a list of the technical review comments that have been addressed. They're also included in the memo that Shane distributed. Regarding snow storage, all sidewalks and parking areas will be plowed and shoveled. Snow is to be stored in designated snow storage areas shown on our plan, which has been submitted. In the event the designated snow storage areas reach capacity, we've identified 6 flex parking spaces to be designated for emergency snow storage, which is also shown on the plan. In the event that we have significant snowfall, any snow in excess of what can be safely stored on site will be trucked off site. All of this will be recorded in the trust docs, and the building's going to be professionally managed so we can ensure that this plan will be implemented properly. Here we're showing the designated snow storage areas, which we're using any landscaped area off of the parking area and off of walkways to store snow. If those areas are filled, we will use these spaces at the rear of the parking lot. As we had told you guys at the last meeting, we've got 12 flex spaces in addition to the required parking spaces we need. So we can afford 6 spaces for snow storage if we really need them. Here we show the retaining wall system we've selected. It's a Vertiblock system. We can source this from Situate Concrete. We feel it's an aesthetically pleasing design that will appear nice from the neighboring properties. I've also included an updated landscape concept reflecting the retaining wall, the plantings, access. I know access was a concern that was voiced. We do have access to the property for maintenance. We do have screening for utilities, and we show the screening for the trash area in the rear as well. As we discussed last time, contextually, the building was designed to fit the fabric of the neighborhood through the materials we've selected. We plan to use a hardy shake and lap facade with thoughtful projections to fit the New England feel of Main Street. That's all I had to update you on. At this point, I'd like to open it up to questions from the board, and our team's here to answer any questions.
Thank you. So, before the board has any questions, I know, Mr. Tanzi, there were a couple of reviews that you performed, and you did perform test pits. Can you update us on the review from your end and let us know if there's anything that you still have outstanding?
Sure. Yeah. We conducted the test pits. There really wasn't the soil similar to what the test pits were prior to that. They have satisfied my comments. I think the only outstanding comment that I had to do with lighting and making sure that the fixtures were set at the right height. And I thought they did a very good and detailed job at providing me with that information. They clearly they were dark sky compliant. Everything was retained within the limits of the site as far as light trespass was concerned. Previously, all my drainage comments were they satisfied those. They made modifications to the drainage system that I think were significant improvements to it. So right now, I don't have any outstanding comments.
All right. So the lighting plan, because I did see that as one of your comments, that is in the new plan set. Is that correct?
That's correct. You'll find it in the architectural plan, not the site plan.
I picked up the new site plan. It had the architectural on the first page. So as long as we have it, you've reviewed it.
Yeah.
The open space. So it looks like there's no wetlands on this, and as far as open space, it appears they meet the 10% for the parking lot and the 20%. Looks like 20.9% open space. That satisfies that requirement, correct, Shane?
That is correct, yes. It's the 10% internal parking, and I believe it's the outstanding open space around that parking lot has been met.
Okay, how about board questions, comments? Questions?
Yeah, I have one, Mr. Chairman. Adam, along the lines of signage for the commercial spaces inside, you still don't show where they're going to be situated on the building itself and or if there's going to be a standalone sign along Main Street.
Yes.
Well, that would have to be approved, right?
Oh, yes. I'm just saying for the aesthetics of the building, it can really make a break, not make a break, but it could enhance or detract from the building. So I just wanted to see if you had anything that we could take a look at.
Okay.
What we could do is if they do decide to do if they decide to change the architectural by adding signs, Tom, maybe we could just ask them,
Yeah, just like to see it.
it doesn't need to be a public hearing or a fee or anything.
Correct.
But ask them if they're going to add signage to the building itself to come back to the planning board just to make sure it's appropriate. And if there's a sign externally, that's going to go through Mr. Solari, correct, Steve?
Yeah, that's going to be an issue because the town has changed their bylaws on pedestal signs. Usually, if your building is a certain distance from the street, you can't have a pedestal sign.
You can't, or you can?
You can't. I'll have to review the bylaw because we've gone back and forth with signage in the past couple changes. But originally, your building had to be set back a certain distance before you allowed a pedestal sign. But of course, we do have a lot of them on the street that are legal non-conforming that were previous installed. So I would have to go through the whole sign bylaw to double check with the CBD changes.
And I don't think Mr. Jasper, you don't have any tenants yet, correct? For the commercial space?
Correct. None of the commercial spaces have been leased at this time.
And the layout may change. Somebody may take 2 units or all three. So why don't, I mean, we're not going to deliberate yet, but we could always just ask for the signage to come back later, if you guys are comfortable with that.
Yeah, perfectly.
So, all right, any other board questions?
Yeah, the second question I had is handicap parking is in the rear, correct?
Yes.
Is there an access for handicap to get into the building from the rear and access the commercial spaces on the first floor from the inside?
Yes.
Okay.
There is handicapped access from the rear and the front. We've also ensured handicapped access from the right elevation into the Unit 3 commercial space by addition of a recess right there in
I
the
see that, yes.
facade.
I just didn't recognize that there was access from the inside of the property. And I just wanted to make sure, obviously, that anyone that is handicapped does not have to walk around the entire building to get to the front if it's raining, or because some people are very hobbled and have to take their time. So as long as they can get inside the building, that goes a long way.
Yes, yeah, that's correct.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
Greg, on when you did the test pits, it didn't change the elevation in the back. It appears they still have that 4 to 6 foot fill in the back. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So the grading, and I have the new plan set, so I don't have the old one to compare it to. There really isn't a lot of the grading in the back from the first plan set to the second really didn't change at all. Is that correct?
Yes.
What were the changes that you referenced to the drainage that you thought made it a better system?
Just an overflow, a small drain down system. Whenever the type of a drainage system that relies completely on infiltration, I like to have some mechanism to drain the system down to ensure that if there's a back-to-back storm in 24 hours, it doesn't inundate the system. And it also goes a long way in keeping an artificially mounted groundwater from forming beneath any type of a recharge system. So what they'll be doing is when it rains, the system's gonna flood with water. The chambers the design storm. Most of it will be infiltrated, and that there'll be a small bleed down mechanism that will make sure that you don't have prolonged standing water within these chambers.
So where is this relief? Is that in the back? Is that
Yeah, it runs out to the back.
the back corner to the wetlands?
Correct.
Is any of this work within 100 foot of the wetlands or no?
It doesn't extend any further than the limit of the disturbance that's currently being proposed.
Are we shedding water onto anybody else's property, or is it an area that's going to end up in the wetlands, or what? How does that work?
Well, it's going to end up draining towards the wetlands, but the primary performance standards is that there will be less water shedding off the site in the post-development than there was in the pre-development condition.
And that's that 90-10 that we have. So 90.
Correct.
Right. Right. All right. Any other board questions?
Yeah, in terms of snow storage, it looks to me like there's adequate, especially with those bonus spaces. But is there a metric that we use to determine what is adequate snow storage?
No.
We used to, in this ordinance, I don't think it says it in here anymore, Greg, but it used to say like a 6-inch storm.
Yeah, I mean, I think a 6-inch storm
they've got plenty of room on site to store the excess snow.
Yeah.
Utilizing those 6 spots out back, if they get inundated and they don't have the available capacity, that area can be removed, and trucked and hauled off quite easily. And it's quite conveniently, they're not going to be disturbing any landscaping. So I thought they did a pretty good job of managing snow storage by utilizing those overflow spaces, parking spaces.
Any other comments from the board? Questions?
You know what, Adam, I wanted to just say real quick, I appreciate you taking to the concerns that we had on our field visit. And I think you handled those issues well. I have to say this project is one of the nicer projects brought to us. I think it's a huge improvement for Bridgewater. The elephant in the room, I guess, is the question for someone like Shane is a project like this gets approved. How are we dealing with the water on this?
Same thing. So we have to determine per our zoning adequacy utilities, so we're just gonna have to condition it upon water and sewer connections. And then they'll have to work with the town and hopefully, I've heard, and I don't know what other people have heard, but July we should be back to somewhat normal operations.
So let me ask a question onto that point. If the applicant to go get a permit, he would have to pay his water tie-in fees, his fees. If without approval or with a moratorium of water, would he be able to start his project and until approval comes for water?
I think that's a Mr. Solari question if he wants to touch that one.
That's an easy one. And I've got up in front of the council and I've got in front of the town and explained under 780 CMR, the building code, a permit cannot be issued unless sign off for potable water is there. So I either have to have a signature from the water department for a hookup or another, other houses, the well situation, but I cannot and I've looked into it and I've really found no way around it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think we've had conversations with the applicant. They acknowledge we have the emergency water tie-in moratorium currently. I think that they acknowledge that. I think they acknowledge that it's going to take some time for them to get their final construction plans architecturally put together. So I think just based on the discussion, I don't think the construction is going to start tomorrow. But I think they acknowledge some time they have to wait until, that building permit has to be pulled.
And just to be clear, I think when we say this stuff, it's because that is the information that we know. We're assuming that once the tie-in expires and things will go back to normal, then we're able to do this, but other decisions may happen between then and now, I'm sure.
Correct, as well as requirements for whether it be some sort of water assessment demand that is through council or town manager's office, or just the water department having, being the kind of final say in terms of water quantity and quality when it comes to these projects as well too. So just acknowledging that there are some moving parts for this. I think they acknowledge that we've seen projects shift over to well water because of that change. I guess in the case of this project, it just doesn't seem feasible, but I think that it doesn't preclude, this from moving forward, and there's nothing that really kind of precludes this. I think they acknowledge that at some point there's going to have to be some sort of, water impact statement done by the applicant, and I'm happy to include that as part of, any condition that the board wants to present as well too, just to safeguard the town in the board's decision making.
Now, Steve, can they actually apply and have everything in permitize and it's just
Oh yeah, I mean, you can put an application in and you can, start the process, but as what the process works is, I get the plans, I review my end and, the plan and going through, the review process. And then at that time, after I do the review process and look at all the information, construction control documents, engineering, it usually will go to the sign-offs usually will go to water, sewer, fire department. It'll go to planning, the planning board through Shane. So yeah, there is, you can start ahead because, as you know, Dan, also plans have to be sent to the fire department, and usually, that takes some time. So I mean, that process can all be done. The problem is that until I get blue dots
But I guess my
on
question,
every
Steve, is,
person, I don't send the fee until afterwards.
but I guess my question, and just in general, this helps everyone to know, but if they submit, they don't get denied. It's just pending approval.
Pending approval, but you got to be very careful too, because in all reality, and we have done it in the past, there is a timeline on an application put in,
Right.
that we're waiting on. The only plan that I've allowed to go longer has been the hotel because of legal issues. There was in circumstances beyond the applicant, but you do have to look at all facades of what's going on.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, any other board comments, questions? All right, we can come back to that. It is still a public hearing, so if there are any members of the public that would like to ask questions or speak on the project, please raise your hand or identify yourself in some way.
All right, we have Janet's iPad with their hand raised.
Hi, Janet Hanson, Pleasant Street. Just a couple questions. The pictures of the plants was kind of fast to me, so I couldn't read them. Are they native plants? And so I want to make sure that they're native. And is it 3 floors? Is that correct on how high this is? Is 3 floors with the commercial a little higher, but is it 3 floors altogether? And I am concerned about, if you can explain it a little better, about stuff running off into the wetlands. I know it's not probably a huge wetland area, but when I hear things running into a wetland, I get concerned about contamination. You get runoff from the parking lot, asphalt, oil from cars, and, whatever else. So how is the wetland protected by the runoff? Those are the questions I have, and I am concerned about any type of loophole for the water hookup. We all know the circumstances that we have to be very careful about hooking up, and I know it won't be for a while, but it should be in there somewhere that they can't hook up to the town until everything is no longer a water emergency and we've lifted that ban. So that somehow has got to be in there to protect and not have a loophole. So if those questions could be answered, that's all I have for right now.
So I think I'll take 2 of them, then I'll ask the applicant, and Mr. Tanzi can help me with this. So the wetland one, I asked the same question, Mrs. Hanson, and we have a calculation. So what Mr. Tanzi said to us was that actually through the construction of this, less water is going to be running into the wetland than it currently does, and more will be infiltrated. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Tanzi, but there's pre-treatment, so it'll be treated for contaminants before it does go into the wetland where it is not pre-treated now. Is that correct?
That's correct. And in fact, there's more than just pre-treatment. It will be completely treated to the prescribed 80% TSS removal rating before any of that overflow reaches the wetland. And even after it's evacuated from the stormwater management system, it does have additional travel time through the vegetated area to the rear, and that actually provides even greater treatment, which really wasn't even accounted for in the calculations. So I'm confident that the quality and the quantity of this discharge will not have an adverse impact on abutting residents or the wetland resource area.
And then the other one I'll take, Mrs. Hanson, is the water, right? So I think we hear that loud and clear from everybody, and we've all talked about that. So I think in our deliberation, we will probably condition this project. It'll be a conditional approval. They can't demonstrate that they have water and sewer now, so before they can get a permit or move forward with the project to get planning board sign off, at the final step is they'll need to demonstrate that they have water and sewer. What the water department does, if they sign off right away or 6 months from now, I don't think we have control of that, but we'll just condition it that they have to demonstrate they have water and sewer before they can move forward. And I think Mr. Solari stated that he can't even issue a permit until that happens. So we'll make sure that's in the decision.
Okay, and the native, it's
I'll let
native
Mr.
plantings and it's 3 floors, right?
Mr. Jaspin, if you want to answer the architectural and the landscape.
Yes. Yes, we do have native plantings. In addition to this landscape concept shown here, we have a full list of the plantings, which will probably be tough to read. Let me zoom in on that for you.
And there's also that native wildlife mix that's around the whole perimeter, correct?
Exactly. Yep, the native meadow plantings. But we've got a full list of plantings, including native plantings here, and happy to circulate this. Regarding the building height, it is 3 floors. I'll show you the elevation. So it's 3 full floors with a half story above the 3rd floor. Max allowed height is 3.5 stories or 45 feet. And we are under the 45-foot threshold and exactly 3.5 stories.
Thank you very much.
Great. Mr. Chair, I don't see anyone else with their virtual hand raised, nor do I see anyone in the chat.
Okay. And then so coming back to, there's no other public comment at this point? No?
Not that I'm aware of, and not that I see on the screen, and not that I see in the chat, Mr. Chair.
All right, so we'll close the public input section of this for now. So Mr. Jaspin, I think we can handle this as a condition, but I just want to make sure because it's very tastefully done the way you proposed it with I think you said it's ice white or something, ice white shingles. So what you mentioned the color.
Arctic white.
Arctic white, and that's going to be hard. So I just want to make sure that Shane, that when we do this, that we condition it that it looks, the materials presented or what are actually used, and if they do change the materials, that they would have to come back to us.
Mr. Chair, if I may just add, one thing not shown on the rendering are the grids that will be and mullions that will be added to the windows. So they appear as casements, but they will actually they won't necessarily be double hung windows, but they will appear like double hung windows, traditional New England style double hung windows, likely a 2/2 grid.
All right, great. So I would just like to see that as a condition that it's built the way I think we typically put that in there anyway, Shane, materials represented in colors and whatnot, or what they actually do.
Yeah, and we've had countless times too when people change materials, I would bring them back before this board because of a change in materials. Because there does come times where people come in with their design engineers and they're like, "Oh, actually, you know what? Hardy board's great and all, but EIFS is a little cheaper."
Yeah, we don't want EFS, so we don't want vinyl. I
No,
mean,
I get you.
if it's red cedar versus hardy plank and dip shank, I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but as long as it's
Yeah, and I just want to acknowledge too, I think within the district guidelines too, there are requirements for that material too. So when you guys approve these projects, subject to section 9.6, you're subjecting it to the zoning ordinance as well, and the types of the standards and the architectural standards within that district. So
I'd say the same thing Mr. Pabrowski said. I mean, I think this is great. I mean, I hope we can get it done sooner than later. I thank you guys. I mean, early on, I think you listened to everything we said, all the commercial on the ground floor, and I think that's the direction the town wants to go. And I'm glad you guys worked with us. And I think it's a beautiful project. So thank
It
you.
really is.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Does anybody wanna, let me find my. Does anybody want to make a motion to close the public hearing, or do we want to keep it open?
I'll make that motion. Motion to close the public hearing, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second.
Who was the second? I'm sorry.
Me.
Dan.
Yeah.
So Tom, then Dan.
Okay. So we have a motion to close the public hearing. There's no more public comment, or there's no more board questions. Is that correct?
Correct.
Correct.
So motion and a second. I'll take the roll. Mr. Fabrowski,
Yes.
Mr. Greenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Pratty,
Yes.
Mr. Geller.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So Shane did provide us with a draft decision letter.
Yeah, let me just bring it up on the because I did. Nope, that's a different one. That's the minutes.
I mean, my only two additional conditions would be that, three additional conditions that, signage needs to come back to a planning board meeting, not a public hearing, but just to a planning board meeting if once they decide where it's going to go and the material and whatnot. That the building materials have to be, applied as represented onto the building exterior, and that we really condition the water and sewer. We condition the permit on a water and sewer connection, a successful water and sewer permit before we can sign off, I guess, as a planning board on that building permit. So because it's not available now and they can't meet that that criteria, so we'll just make sure that we're conditioning the approval on a successful water and sewer plan.
Sounds good to me. So yeah, it was part
I
of
don't,
my.
I don't like what you put in there, Shane. You said they could. Can you go to where you put the water?
You want to look at the part that you don't like? Okay.
I read it earlier. I'm like, this isn't good.
Well, that's why they're draft, and I let you guys. I think it was I think it was general conditions.
It was like 20. Yeah.
No, that's utility cuts.
It says the applicant may, so 21, the applicant
May utilize, yeah.
And then you didn't mention sewer at all. So I just think that we need to say that this permit's conditioned upon the applicant obtaining a water and sewer commitment.
Well, like I said earlier, all connections to municipal infrastructure shall be subject to the Department of Public Works and Engineering standards for review and approval. But if I think acknowledgement towards water is fine as well too. But we can
because that assumes they demonstrated they have access to it. But right now we don't. There's no
well
new.
there's no new connections based on water, not necessarily sewer.
So we'll add it in there that, some language that's conditioned upon that. So those are the three things I'd like to add. But any other discussion or? Nope. Does anybody disagree with those three things I want to add?
Not at all.
Do we want to add anything else? I mean, I think it's a great plan, so there's not a lot of loose ends, so.
Yep, I agree.
Agreed.
Agreed.
So some water and sewer condition language and materials need to stick to what's representative and signs need to come back to us. All right, we'll add that to the standard conditions and what Shane provided as a draft.
Motion to approve the plan, Mr. Chairman.
No more discussion, no? So, motion by Mr. Praddy. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
For discussion, should we mention,
Hold on one second. So Mr. Praddy, second was Mr. Greenberg.
I did second, yes.
Okay, so for discussion, go ahead, Mr. Geller, I'm sorry.
Do you want to add a comment about the window mullions?
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's
Yeah.
gonna look like double hung windows.
I was waiting for an architectural comment.
I think they did a really good job in this building. I think
They did a
it's
beautiful
nice.
job, yes.
Yeah. So, the buttons will be added, to the windows, is that correct?
That's
Am
what
I
the
saying,
company
am I saying that correctly, Mr.?
Yes.
Geller? Okay,
Just one thing, Mr. Chair.
yep.
I just want to make sure that we're acknowledging, I know it says it we read it through the public hearing process, but it is a special permit per section 9.6, as well as
So the special permit's a demo, right?
it's for demo and redevelopment, correct? And then 10.6 is for new construction per our typical site plan standards and our performance standards for larger projects.
All right, so to Mr. Praddy, do you want to amend your motion to be for the site plan approval and the special permit approval for demolition?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I do.
Okay.
Do you want something different, Shane?
No, I just wanted to acknowledge that I know that
That they were for both.
the motion was for the approval of the project. I just wanted there to be
Yeah.
at least some acknowledgement of what that approval consists of, the special permit and
Understood.
the site plan. So that's part of it.
Yeah, and I saw in an earlier packet they had already received demolition delay, correct? So, all right, so we have a motion by Mr. Praddy for a site plan approval and a special permit approval for the project and for demolition. We have a second by Mr. Greenberg, correct?
Yes.
And then the four conditions we talked about were they stick to the plan, materials, etc. We condition it on water and sewer. We're going to add the muttons to it, and I'm forgetting one.
Signage.
Signage. And for the signage, once they come up with a signage plan, they'll come back to the planning board for a public meeting, not a public hearing.
Right.
All right. So we have motion a second. Any more discussion? Anything else we want to add? All right. So we have a motion on the special permit and the site plan. I'll take the roll. Mr. Fabrowski,
Yes.
Mr. Greenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Praddy,
Yes.
Mr. Geller,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. So thank you very much, guys. Good luck.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
job.
Thank you.
And thank you for cleaning it up. I actually went by that today, so
Absolutely.
looks
We'll
like-
maintain it until the building's torn down.
Good, we appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Okay, Shane, you know what I'm gonna do, Shane, real quick? So I'm gonna take the 593 Plymouth Street out of order because I see some people on here that may be waiting for 593 Plymouth Street.
Sure
I
thing.
should have done this earlier. I apologize. So I'll take under item 4, we have 593 Plymouth Street. This is Barty Investment Group LLC for proposed subdivision titled Revelation Road. With 6 buildable lots and 2 drainage lots on 5.9 acres of land, as per the Bridgewater subdivision rules and regulations. This was continued from April 15th. We did receive a continuation request from Silver Engineering to go to June 3rd. So Shane, just for anybody on here for 593, we are considering a continuation. Mr. O'Brien, did you get them to sign an extension document?
No, I'm gonna have to get them to sign another extension document. I would acknowledge that their continuance request is their way of saying that they need to sign one, but I'm gonna have to get an updated one. I'll send them one tomorrow for them to sign, and then I'll have you, Mr. Chair, sign it as well too, to extend out past the already past the 100-day period, 180-day period for subdivision.
And you did have some communication with the applicant and the engineer, and it looks like they are going to continue to move forward in some direction. Or...
Yeah, so we've had continuing conversations with both the owner and the engineer about potential changes made, but it's just a matter of getting those on pen and paper.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion from Silver Engineering in reference to Body Investment Group LLC for 593 Plymouth Street to move this to the June 3rd meeting. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Who said that? I can't see who said
Hey,
that.
Tom Brady.
But did Steve say it first?
I said it first.
Oh my goodness, you beat me.
Does it
Second.
matter?
So Steve.
It's not Jeopardy, guys.
I know. You need buttons. Like, motion by Mr. Geller, second by Mr. Praddy. Any discussion? Okay,
Nope.
so I'll go with Mr. Fabrowski,
Yes.
Mr. Greenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Praddy,
Yes.
Mr. Geller,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Okay. All right. So back to normal order. We have another site plan, a public hearing that's still open. It's a continuation for 292 Bedford Street, which is map. Is that 43, Shane?
This is map 48, lot 55.
Okay. Site plan approval under section 10.6 to construct the commercial building. It's an 11,000 square foot building, and this is continued from April 15th. So I know we did get some updated plans. So if the applicant is here and would like to present the updates to the board, I'm sure Shane can share the screen and you can introduce yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Good evening. Michael Minot, attorney for the applicant. I have here Steve Gioso, the project engineer, who can discuss the revised plans that were submitted and the changes reflected in those plans. And we can answer any questions. We also have a representative of the applicant here, Steve LaBelle, who can answer any other questions regarding the project.
Okay, so do you want to give, I know you submitted some new plans that we have copies of. Do you want to walk through the changes that were made based on the last meeting?
Sure, I can start that review. This is Steve Gioso with SciTech Engineering, 966 Kempton Street, New Bedford. Would you like me to share my screen or would Shane put the plans up, whichever you prefer?
I'd prefer you.
Okay. Let's see if we can make this work. Okay, do you see the site plan before you now?
Yes.
Okay. So as you may recall, this is a proposed O'Reilly's Auto Parts with a couple of additional retail spaces in the rear end of the property. We're located on Bedford Street next to Sullivan Tire. Sullivan Tire here to the south of the proposed building. Here's the proposed building. We did, before the last meeting when we did present to you, we did have the Mr. Tanzi's comment letter, but we had not completed our review and revisions to the plan. And also we did get input from the board at the last meeting, and we have looked at addressing comments to hopefully improve the site and the information being presented to you. So starting with the engineer's comment letter, we did enhance the stormwater management system. We have just to recall, we're bringing the roof drainage to a recharge system. We've enhanced that. We've made some improvements on the stormwater system within the old detention pond that exists just to the north of the existing paved area, creating more of a 4-bay configuration, discharge going in there. So we think we have, in fact, enhanced the drainage a little bit more. Again, as a recap, we're eliminating a bit of pavement from the site, particularly the areas near the wetland resource area, which exists off here to the east of the development area. So we're confining all of our work within existing paved areas, and we're actually eliminating pavement in a number of areas surrounding the site, replacing that with green space, either landscaping or lawn area. So we think we have a improvement to stormwater. We have water quality treatment units where none exist now, or limited. We have a catch basin on the property, but we're adding water quality removal and treatment, and putting the clean roof water back into the ground. We've got excellent soil conditions out here in this particular location. So enhancements to the drainage system since the last time we were before you. And then in listening to the comments from the board, there was a concern about not a large landscaped area buffer along Route 18. And we were asked to evaluate modifications to the site to improve that. What we were able to do is shift the building further back on the property. We brought it back as far as we could. There's a drain line that originates on the Sullivan Tire parcel, which is over here in this corner to the south and east of the proposed development. And that drain line runs through this parcel and ends up in the detention basin here. So we brought the building back as far as we could to get close to that drain line. We have accurate survey location on both ends of the pipe, straight line in between. So that allowed us to change a little bit of the parking in front of the building. We shifted this parking a little bit to the north, maintaining our ADA accessible spaces here in the front of the building. And that allowed us to pull the edge of pavement, which right now sits right on the layout line of Route 18. So there's essentially no landscaping there now, very minor piece. And now we're improving that, bringing it up, creating an 8-foot landscape strip in that area. And what we've proposed on the landscaping plan is to add some landscaping along the frontage, mix of different ground cover as well as shrubs to create a better screening of the parking facility from Route 18. And you can see in comparison to Sullivan Tire, it's actually quite a bit more than what exists on Sullivan. So I think we're in keeping with the neighborhood. We're reducing that existing non-conforming condition to the maximum extent that we can. We didn't lose any parking, and the circulation remains the same, where we would have a one-way access on the south side of the building, feeding into the main parking area here on the north side of the building, and O'Reilly Auto Parts primary parking here in the front remains virtually unchanged with a minor shift to the north. So we believe we've addressed all the concerns raised by Mr. Tanzi. There was one detail change regarding an ADA ramp detail that he asked that we add additional cross slope reference on that detail. We've actually added that to the plan. He has not seen that yet, so I don't want to represent. We've addressed that one last concern, but we have seen his response letter, and it does appear we've addressed all of the comments that were raised in his letter, and we have, in fact, again, maximized our landscaping capability, actually reduced a little bit of the lot coverage a little bit more, and we think that it's an improvement over what we had originally proposed based on the input from you folks the last time around. Without taking up any more of your time, I think we can step back a little bit on this side and answer any remaining questions you may have, and see if you think we're in a position to move forward with this project.
Okay, thank you. So any board questions, comments at this point?
You know what? I'm curious. I see. So you have your infiltrators for your roof drainage. Where is the drainage for the parking lot area?
So the parking lot drainage, we've actually got a new water quality structure up here in the corner where the water naturally all wants to drain away from Route 18. And under existing conditions, there's a single catch basin right in this area, corner of the existing pavement. We're gonna pull out this triangular piece of pavement here, but there is a structure there. So we're gonna have a water quality catch basin in this location, which is picking up drainage from this side. This drainage is being directed down to a catch basin in this area. We're going to pipe those together, convert the catch basin to a manhole cover, and then there's an existing discharge to the existing detention pond here. So, and the roof drain system would pick up interior drains on the building, go into this recharge chambers here on the site, and then there's an overflow from that system into the same detention pond that exists down in this area here.
So will you easement that area where it's draining into this lot? Because that's showing it off this lot.
Yes, so it exists there now. We showed this as a proposed parcel line, potential proposed parcel line. And as we indicated in the last meeting, we didn't really want to get locked into a parcel line and drainage and utility easements until we were sure all the boards were comfortable with the plan. So we have you folks tonight in conservation next Wednesday. Assuming there are no further changes, we can then, when we come in with an A&R plan or just presenting you with easements as needed at a later date, but clearly we would need to create some cross easements to cover both Sullivan Tire, this parcel, and whatever the remaining land ends up being. But yeah, we would definitely have to create some easements here.
So I guess my question would be for Mr. Tanzi, does that satisfy the parking lot drainage?
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Chris, so you also, I don't want to interrupt you. We done with the question?
Yeah, I'm good.
So I had a similar question to Mr. Fabrowski, just trying to better understand the drainage. So everything flows, it looks like everything flows to the back of the site and it's contained by the curbing.
Yes.
And in the back of the site where you said that water quality treatment catch basin, is that what the detail for the cascade, is that considered the cascade system?
Cascade system?
On your plan, you have a cascade separator. Is that the cascade separator?
Yes, these would be water quality separators here and here. This would be an existing structure. We're just going to change the cover from a catch basin grate to a manhole cover, a solid manhole cover here, because we're no longer going to be within a paved area and you're going to have the curbing here restricting any further flow. So yes, these are the water quality units here and here, and then this becomes a manhole conversion. We're going to maintain the deep sump there, so it'll provide some additional sediment screening before we go into this newly created forebay within the detention pond.
But I guess to Mr. Fabrowski's question, I was trying to understand it earlier. Do these water quality catch basins provide any infiltration?
No. The infiltration will occur in these chambers. These are Caltech chambers under the parking lot. And what we want to do is, the best way to get infiltration is to keep the water segregated. Take the roof drain, we got mostly clean water, get that into a separate system, which is what we've done. Then have that discharge. In this case, again, we're providing mitigation two ways. We've got a recharge system that doesn't exist on the site now. So right now we're replacing a paved parking lot with a building, picking up the roof drains, getting that water to recharge into the ground on site, and keep that segregated from parking lot runoff. The parking lot runoff goes through water treatment units, then comes out. And the second way we're mitigating any kind of flow, so we're going to have pretty significant drops in peak flows by eliminating, I think the last time I mentioned, we got about 10,000 square feet of asphalt being removed from the surface here, that in and of itself is going to create a reduction in runoff. So we're reducing the runoff two different ways, and we're improving water quality, where right now you've got marginal water quality off an entirely paved surface that's serving as a storage area for a lot of motor vehicles. So by going to a commercial parking lot, you're cutting down on the pollutant loading. By eliminating pavement, we're eliminating runoff both from a volume standpoint and a peak standpoint, adding water quality units to clean up the remaining pavement and then recharge with the roof.
So I got Mr. Tansey. So basically with the parking lot, there is no infiltration. Is that correct?
That's correct. No runoff from the parking lot is being recharged into a subsurface recharge system.
So how does that comply? And maybe it doesn't need to, but how does that comply with section 9.2.6 of the zoning for drainage systems in the zone 2?
Okay, so what it complies because it meets the BMP standards. What they've mitigated stormwater runoff in two ways. You know, the recharge of the roof, all that roof area is being mitigated and recharged. The rest of the pavement that's proposed generates less runoff than what was there in the existing condition.
Okay.
They did. It's called by source reduction is how they're mitigating stormwater runoff, and then the water quality catch basins, the cascade devices, they will give a pre-treatment of up to 50%. They're credited by an independent what they call a third party testing. It's not actually a company. It's the New Jersey DOT that has a program that tests these and certifies them under various load conditions and stormwater conditions. So you need 44% TSS removal and pre-treatment to meet the code that you cited. And these are credited at 50%. So their water quality meets the pre-treatment criteria right there. And then the 80% is completed through their improvements with the detention basin. And so you've got going here, you've got the stormwater being treated to the performance standards, and it is also mitigated to the performance standard. They've also provided, they met the standard 3 recharge standard as well. So, from an environmental standpoint, in a sensitive area like a zone 2, like what they're in, the standard 3, the standard 2, the standard 4, those are your primary environmental standards. They've also met standard 6 because the cascade qualifies for an acceptable practice in a zone 2 as well. So it meets the standard. I think they've done all that they really could do. The source reduction is a great way to mitigate runoff, I think, because it just opens up more green space on the site as well.
All right. So, and just either for you or for the applicant, there is so everything that flows through these catch basins, they will be, before it discharges, it is preceded by oil, grease, and sediment traps that'll remove the contamination, correct?
Right. Yes.
So if somebody has an oil leak in their car or there's oil that's spilled from an oil bottle from the store, that would be contained within one of these pre-treatment units. Is that correct?
Yeah, it would do a much more effective job than a standard catch basin with a hood on it.
Okay. All right. So it's for the applicant. What is the percentage of this? I know it's a 2.7 acre lot that's proposed. What is the upland area on that site?
See if we have that on the cover sheet summary.
And what I didn't see it on the cover sheet. That's why it's
Yeah, I'd have to give you an estimate, but let's go back to the drawing. The wetlands line is right here. And then it would be this back portion would be to the east is wetland and the rest is upland. I would say we're about a little over 60% upland and about 40% wetland.
so. Do you know what the landscape / grass areas of upland open space? Do you know what that calculation is?
Well, as far as the difference between lot coverage, we're at 40% lot coverage total. So pavement and building is covering 40% of the lot. The rest is either landscaping, undisturbed woodlands, or wetlands on the property.
But I guess I'm trying to determine how much is landscaped, just because the open space you're supposed to have, and I know it's a redevelopment site, but I'm just trying to determine, your open space, which is what, 20% in the zone, has to have the same ratio of upland versus wetland. Does that meet the criteria?
Is wetland considered upland or
No.
green space?
Yeah, I guess the question is there a distinction in the zoning that differentiates between upland green space and wetland green space? I don't have that answer on the top of my head.
Yeah,
but I can tell you that
the zoning just says the proportions has to be the same. So I guess I'm just trying to determine how much green space is. Have you calculated the upland green space?
No.
Do you have a location for the well proposed on site?
Yes.
Where is that? Is that on the plan?
Yeah, it's on the plans right here. And we bring the water down the back of the building, which is where the feed would be to the building.
So I saw the letter from your firm regarding the use and then Mr. Solari also weighed in that the use is acceptable based on the description of O'Reilly Auto Parts. Because I know in the aquifer it says we can't store, petroleum or hazardous materials, etc. So the proposed use, they won't be storing any large quantities that would be going to like auto dealers or like drums of oil or anything like that.
That's correct.
And everything that would be stored there would basically be for like the homeowner use, like your quarts of oil on a rack or a gallon of oil or 5 quarts or whatever they sell in a jug. It would be limited to that type of petroleum storage.
Yes, I think that they sell quarts and also like a gallon of oil. I think you can get.
It's all finished prepackaged products. You could probably buy at a Walmart or order online or buy at a number of different retailers. So not anything in a commercial or wholesale type of sales setting.
And they're not going to be recycling any type of oil. Like people can bring oil back to them to put into a big tank or anything like that. There's none of that proposed.
No, that's not part of their operation.
Yeah. Can somebody bring up before we go to the architecturals, does anybody else have? I would just like to know if you don't have the calculation of the landscaped area. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't have that right off the top of my head. I know we're eliminating 10,000 square feet of pavement and creating landscaping in those areas. And then,
It's redevelopment.
beyond that, there's, significant upland beyond the existing edge of pavement. It's probably a 200 by 50-foot strip. Just looking at the plan.
Just to help
We
me
can get you
answer,
the number, but
just to help me answer the question, you're removing 10,000 square feet of pavement?
yes.
Okay. All right. My other questions are architectural, so I'll open it up to the board for any other questions. Does the board have any
Oh,
questions?
Tom, I think you're muted.
Tom, you trying to talk, you muted.
In the meantime, how do we feel about how the parking spaces are now set back from Route 18? I know that was one of our larger concerns last time they were here.
Mr. Greenberg, this is Steve Lavelle. There was, just for your reference, there's 14 feet from the edge of my property to the, we'll call it, curb that would typically be along the state highway. So you have 14 feet between Route 18 and my property, and then we've increased another 8 feet of landscape. So you're like substantially away from Route 18 from the traffic. For some reason, my lot is very unique. If you look down Route 18, most of the places you have your white line and then about 3 feet, and then it's all grass.
Right.
In front of my place, there's a strip of pavement that's 14 feet wide there.
Like a big
So it's
shoulder,
kind of
right? Yeah.
deceptive when you look at it, because typically everywhere else, for some reason, the state has pavement. It's almost like I have my own breakdown lane there, but it's a little deceptive. But the parking is substantially away from Route 18.
Awesome. And how does the rest of the board feel about that? I mean, I think it's an upgrade from what the plan was before.
I think I'm okay with it. I drove by there and I did notice that big chunk of asphalt, and I did question why we wouldn't be able to cut into that, and that's because it's not on his property. So
yeah, I wish I could.
But I agree, it is an upgrade to what's there.
Yeah, no question. Through you, Mr. Chairman, am I unmuted?
You're unmuted, yeah.
Very quick question on the water connection again. I know you discussed it last meeting. Could you explain to me how, in conjunction with the town of Bridgewater, you're going to meter that private well to public sewer?
So I met with the water department, and the water department has determined that for people who are going to have wells and use public sewer, they are going to use the Title V plan or regulation to determine what the usage is there, and that's how they will bill. They did say they may be open to private meters at some point, but right now that's what their idea is.
Okay, that's fine. I thought it would either be something like that, or again, meters purchased from the town, but you would only be charged the sewer rate, not the water rate on your bill.
Correct. Yes.
And I did confirm that with Mr. Antonero, Mr. Pratty. I called him after I talked to Mr. Rollins about another issue.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, so Dan, to answer your question, I like the landscape buffer strip. I want to try to keep a 20-foot buffer strip on Route 18. But this site does have constraints with the wetlands out back. So I'd rather have a small landscape strip out front than push the building any further back. I mean, they're outdid just touching the 50-foot line. They could go back as far as the 25-foot with the parking lot. I'd rather not have that. So, but at the same time, I want to be able to justify it. So when other projects come forward, we ask for it to try to enhance Route 18.
Yep.
So in this case, with the wetland constraint, I appreciate the effort to get us the 8 feet there and to landscape it. So in this case, I'm okay with it, but I do, I think just about every other project we get close to 20 feet. But I don't recall a site with this many constraints that we've seen recently. So I feel bad because we just made Ace Hardware do it, but that was a 4-acre site with really no wetland. But and I don't want to be a hypocrite, but I think we can justify it with the constraints on the site. So
I think it's a good compromise as well. I appreciate the proponents' effort to push it back as much as you could.
Can you go to the architectural plans if possible?
I don't have them with me. And so I don't know whether if Shane has them available, I can stop sharing.
Yeah.
I got one more question.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Mr. Bella.
So on your lighting plan, is there any reason why you have 2 light poles in the front, 2 light poles in the back, and none on the plan west side where those parking spaces are? Will those be dark?
Well, we did the illumination values, and we're 1-foot candle, I believe, in this area here, 2-foot candles coming up. We didn't take into account, you're going to get ambient lighting in the front of the building here on the west side. So we think that there's adequate lighting along this area. We get the 2-foot candles all the way across here. And in the back where there is more activity, we get 2-foot candles, and then we have it fading off to 1. We also didn't take into account any of the lighting that exists on Sullivan Tires property. So that, again, we wanted to show our lighting and the impacts of our lighting. And we are having wall packs on the back of the building here, which are relatively you'll get hot spots at each wall pack, at each door. But we're trying to minimize the overflow of lighting to adjacent properties, and based on the requirements of the tenant, O'Reilly's, we meet their spec requirements for safe lighting.
I can respect that. That's what I want to make sure that you're going to have safety involved. Yep. Across that parking lot, even though you're adjacent to wetlands.
Mm-hmm.
Ashfield, are those going to be bright enough for your?
Yeah, I mean, they're dark sky compliant lighting, and again, we've looked at that with the lighting people, and they've indicated this is adequate for public safety and safety for maneuvering around the building.
Okay.
So can you go back to say that, Shane, go back for a minute?
No, sure.
So where the proposal, where the lot line is between the Sullivan Tire and the new building, those angled spaces, are there going to be any stops or anything put in there so people aren't? How is that going to be handled so you don't have?
Well, there'll be cross easements for the property, but right now these are diagonal parking spaces, which is a little unusual given the fact that usually diagonal parking, you want to promote this type of circulation around their building, so you pull into the space, back out, and circulate around. Here, the customers or the employees would have the option, because again, we'll have cross easements. They could continue to come here and have unimpeded travel, or they could back out and go this way if there was, say, somebody stopped in the middle of the driveway here. So we wanted to keep that open. We wanted to set it aside here with a landscaped island. So right now it's a painted island. We're going to landscape that piece there. But we didn't want to propose a curbing there. I mean, we'll defer to the board if you thought that would be helpful. But we thought since it's pointing in the right direction, where we want to promote one-way circulation this way, and it looks like O'Reilly's is promoting one-way circulation this way, it's a compatible condition for both sites.
Well, I mean, the way those are set up now, if there's cars stored, those are pretty hard spaces to back out of now, right? I mean, so this should improve that flow, I would think.
Yeah, I think quite a bit. Yeah, you're right.
because you're backing out at an angle. I mean, so.
Right.
All right, could you go to the architectural?
I got you.
All right, I'll stop sharing.
No, I'll just override it.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So Shane, can we just go back to that one, I got one question
Yeah, I'm sorry.
before you hit architecturals, and that's only because you said that that's a painted in front of those spots is a painted sign where you're putting a one-way sign there. So there's no curbing around that, but
Oh.
you're gonna put
You want me-
planting out there?
Oh, back to the old plan.
All right, so,
Go back to the site layout right there. So
okay.
that's just a painted curb with a sign in the middle
No,
of it?
right now it's painted. We're actually gonna put curbing here to
Okay.
make that a more defined space. And then these are stripes that are there now on the Sullivan tire piece. They'll remain unchanged.
Okay, that's fine. I heard the word painted, but I didn't know that you were gonna curb it, because I was gonna suggest you curb it, because if not, your plows will just kill that.
And you
Right.
can you so just where those 4 trees are, or those 5 trees are along the vacant lot now, those jogs that writing does say loam and seed, so that asphalt's gonna be removed to that lot line and loomed and seeded, correct?
That's correct. Here. Yeah.
And no,
Yep.
and then nope, and then on the other side, move your cursor to the left.
On the north side.
Right. So that from the lot line, there's going to be a grassed area. That's all loam and seed, correct?
Yeah, it'll be loam and seeded here. This is natural vegetation. We won't be touching that.
All right.
Going down into the wetland area, and then we'll be loaming and seeding here, yes. And this area also.
But when you say 10,000 feet less of impervious area, you're just referencing this 2.7 acres, not the whole, not parcel 1 and 2, correct?
We're not removing this pavement out here, no.
But the 10%, the 10,000 removal of asphalt is all contained on this site, correct?
Yes, on the site that we're speaking of, yes, of the O'Reilly site.
Okay. And you confirm that, Mr. Tanzi?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other site plan questions from the board?
Nope.
Do you want to go to the architecturals?
Good thing.
So, can you explain to me, what is the treatment for the exterior treatment? What is that? Is it what type of material is it? Is it block?
It's a block building.
It's a block building.
Yes.
Like
with a facade on the front of the building facing Route 18, it will have the O'Reilly's top half will have their name and color and the top portion, which I don't. Oh, you see it on here. Yeah, that's not block where it says O'Reilly, and that'll be I don't know. I think it's notes on there what the material is.
So what is smooth? So what is smooth face CMU?
I don't know how to describe it. You see,
A CMU is a concrete block.
Well, but what about the flat spot there is what I'm referencing. There's a panel, I believe, that's going on.
Right.
Where it says O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Actually, it's a EFS.
Yeah, I can't see from here, but.
So it says EFS. The EFS red colors to be determined.
Where do you see that, Steve?
So if you look at the notes on the top, there's a aluminum cap, which is red, and then you got a EFS, which is like a drive it system.
Is EFS almost like stucco?
Yes, kind of.
Like, is it it's damage prone? Is it?
you back into it, you're gonna damage it. Yes.
And then the building is not steel. It's all like, is the
No,
CM?
so it's a smooth face concrete block along with a split face block. So the difference between that is one block has a smooth surface on it, so it looks like a regular concrete block that you have, and the other one almost looks like a split face, so it's a textured block on the end, on the outside.
So the whole exterior is gonna be like a textured block.
Yes, until you get around where the ephes hits, and that's supposed to be a flat block.
I'm sure O'Reilly has a design standard, but a simple Google search, you can see exactly what that looks like. They all look the same.
Yeah, the ones in Taunton and Raynham have that similar ephes red blocking.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Is that attractive? I mean, it's better than a steel building. Is that an attractive looking building, Steve, when they do it with, I mean, do you use these products a lot?
It looks like stucco. I mean, it's fine. I mean, we've approved it in the town before. I know that, but I don't do a lot of ephes. We do a lot of hardy board and any other type of planking. Even something like a metal Alucobond panel would look really nice too.
Yeah, there's one that they did in North Attleboro that's not, I don't believe, ephes.
Ephes, it's more like an Alucobond panel, which is a metal panel.
Yeah, I can.
They build it. It's a different texture.
Shane, are you able to share an image?
Also well dent.
This is one in North Attleboro.
Can you do it on your screen? I don't know if you're
Oh, you don't want me to show my. Yeah, let me go into my browser and let's talk about O'Reilly's around the world.
If other people want to see, I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, if you Google search it, the first one that comes up when you click images from Wikipedia, I think is a really good example. It's got like that two-tone on the front, but the smooth and the textured block, and then it's got the red.
All right. I'm just glad it's not a steel building now. So how would they build that, Steve? Is that like a concrete block?
It's a block. It's a block building. It's probably got concrete reinforcement inside, and could be an insulated block, or if not, they use a rigid insulation on the inside with and strap it.
Is the whole building, is that consistent around the whole building is block? Could you show this?
I would assume so, because he's building block walls to separate all the tenants.
Yeah. Yes, it's block all the way around.
Is the north and the south walls smooth block, or is that a split face?
I think it's split face around the entire building.
It is around, because you're gonna somewhat decorate for the rear two units as well, I imagine.
Yeah, they have glass storefronts and so forth, and we'll probably do some sort of where the signage is, depending upon who the tenant ends up being. They'll probably have some sort of awning or something that.
And you did say the north and south side, it is split block around the building?
Yeah.
A lot better looking than smooth block.
Yeah. I would like if you were to do something with signage, you mentioned awnings. It'd be nice if those two rear had the same type of awnings.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's more aesthetically pleasing, even though O'Reilly would be your main tenant.
Correct. So, I'd like to keep, to the best of my ability, depending upon who the tenant is, but I definitely want to keep everything looking cohesive.
So there's your wall details.
Oh yeah.
So if you look at the second wall detail, the first wall detail, that's showing the ephes being attached to the block. If I'm not mistaken, it's hard to see from here.
And Chris, I know you and Steve build these types of buildings. And I'm not familiar with the split block, but that is an attractive look.
The split block is much more attractive than smooth.
Absolutely.
I think the theme he's going with will be attractive.
Okay. All right. And again, just like the last one, I mean, if it's represented, we want it done that way. We don't want it done differently. So we'll
Yeah,
make.
I mean, we're following, O'Reilly's is a national tenant and, we're following their guidelines and this is what they typically do at their stores. So it's going to be what you see. We're using their plans for the most part.
Okay. Any other board questions? How about public comment? I know we have public, this is still a public hearing. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak?
We have Janet's iPad raised.
Hi, Janet Hanson, Pleasant Street. Just a couple of things. Did I hear in the beginning? I was going to ask if Concom was going to be reviewing this, but I think I heard the gentleman say that they have a meeting with Concom. He said Wednesday, but is it for next Thursday? I just want to make sure Concom's being involved. And also the lighting. I know he did mention that it's going to be the dark sky lighting, but I still would request to make sure the lighting is not pointing towards the wetland at all. And those are two concerns I have right now, is where the direction of the lighting is against the wetland and if Concom will be reviewing that. Thanks.
Thank you. I can answer the Concom question. So they were before Concom a couple meetings ago. Last Concom meeting got canceled, so they continue that project over to the next meeting, which I believe is next Thursday. So they are still being reviewed for Concom for their order of conditions. Regarding lighting on the wetlands, I don't believe any of the lighting they're all, I believe, downward facing, so I don't believe anything spills into the wetlands for the lighting.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can expand on that a little bit if I may, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, so we did have one conservation meeting, and we are continued till next week. And they wanted us to get through Mr. Tanzi's review and his comments to make sure that we were addressing those, especially where they pertain to drainage. So to answer Janet's comment, yes, we're in front of conservation through a notice of intent process. They did not ask for any changes beyond Mr. Tanzi's comments regarding the improvements to the property. And then with the lighting, as Shane indicated, it's down lighting all on the outside, so we're shining back towards the paved surface. And there'll be back screening on the lighting, and the illumination does not extend to the wetland system. So we would not be impacting overflow lighting to the wildlife and the wetland itself.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I do not see any virtual hands raised, Mr. Chair, nor do I see anyone in the chat.
Okay, so what's the estimated timeline for this project as far as when will it start? And I know we did receive a letter about the trailer on the property, but what's the timeline for the use that's on the site being removed and whatnot?
We'd like to start this project as soon as possible. Hopefully, if we were to get approved tonight, we could start after our conservation meeting. We just have the 20-day appeal period, and we'd like to basically get going within 20 to 30 days after the COMCOM meeting if it's approved. And I would assume it should be done late October.
How about the existing use and the trailer and the cars that are there now? What's the time frame for those?
So the trailer we're going to use during the construction process, and then that will be gone after we get an occupancy permit for the new building. And as far as the cars go, I have purchased another property in town, and my intent is to relocate the majority of the cars over to there.
Okay. Is the trailer being moved to this site or will it stay on the existing site?
I was, for the sense of economy and being out of the way, I was just going to leave it where it is because it's already hooked up to power and stuff over there. So I was just going to leave it in its current form and be out of the way for the construction. And so
Mr. Solari, is there any town ordinance or anything that they have to comply with in regards to the trailer for construction? Is that allowed? Do we know?
Yeah, trailers for construction are allowed. In town, trailers for construction or fire jobs is an allowed use in the town.
Okay. And so you're representing Mr. LaBelle that after the completion of this project that trailer will be removed from the other lot?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
we can make that a stipulation for condition two as for stipulation for occupancy.
Okay.
Shane, when you say stipulation for occupancy, I'd like to be able to have that give me, 30 days from occupancy permit because I don't own that. So I have to arrange for the vendor to come get it and pick it up. So it's kind of on there. When I notify them, they have a certain amount of time to remove it.
All right, so I guess I'll make it up to the chair, but the way I guess I can do it based on the way you're saying is per.
Well, once we sign off on the building, we have no leverage. I mean, can you call them and say, I mean, once you're wrapping that building up, you can probably call them and say, you can call them.
Or it's something or we grant a TCO and after 30 days for a full CO, then you get.
That's fine. I just, just in case we need it.
I'm willing to work with it. I just want if it's not supposed to be there, we want to get it out of there after it's done,
Yeah, no, believe me, I don't want to pay rent for it anymore either. So it'll be gone. I just need to have a physical place, until we get the CO to be able to work out of or whatever. So, you could give me 10 days after a temporary CO or something. We'll get it out of there, as long as they can come pick it up.
Steve, you're going to issue 3 COs to that building anyway, or 2 COs, depending on how tenants fit out, right? So, is it 1 CO for the whole building or is it 2 COs?
So it's according, because usually where it's already in O'Reilly's Auto Parts, there'll probably be a main permit for the building and the O'Reillys, and then if the other buildings are tenant fit outs, most of the time those type of tenant fit outs, Pat, are already literally it's a bathroom and that's it, and an office. So usually a lot of times on the tenant fit outs for units is if the plan shows, and I'll have to ask Steve, is that on the building, the spaces out back, are they going to have like offices already laid out, or are you just doing those as a bathroom and that's it for right now? Do you know?
I'm just doing it for a bathroom as right now. And the way that it's structured with O'Reilly is we will give them an envelope. They will come in to you to get a permit to finish.
Okay. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm doing a permit for the building and then I'll be issuing tenant fit outs for each of the units.
So, Mr. LaBelle, when are you talking about the trailer removal? After 30 days after you're done or after O'Reilly's done?
Once I get a CO for O'Reilly's so that we can, because this is a question for Steve Solari, because they're not going to, O'Reilly's won't get their occupancy permit until they're 100% done. So I need the office trailer there for their crews to have a construction trailer until they can get the occupancy. So
correct. Yeah, you're correct. So basically, what's going to happen is that you're going to put so we're going to have a permit for the building, which at the end I'll get a sign off that the building's been complete, and then O'Reilly's will have their tenant fit out permit, and when they go for the occupancy permit, is when the trailer afterwards can be removed after they get their occupancy permit.
Yeah. So I don't know how the chairman wants to handle tying the trailer to the.
To me, the trailer should be tied in with O'Reilly's. That we give O'Reilly's a temporary occupancy permit until the trailer's gone.
Yeah.
I don't care. That's fine.
All right. Yeah, and then there's other units there. So
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That sounds
And a lot of
reasonable. I
times the
mean,
units in the back, sometimes some people just use them as the bathroom. Sometimes they put an office. I mean, it could be a minor tenant fit out. And a lot of times if somebody likes it just the way it is, there's no tenant fit out. It's just an occupancy to what's there.
Make a nice office for you, Steve.
You know what? The way things going, I might need one.
All right. All right. Any other discussion? No? Anything from the applicant, the public, the board?
I think we're all set on this end.
Okay. So, board, this is just a site plan, not a special permit, Shane, right?
That's correct. It's just 10-6 site plan review.
All right, so do we have a motion? Do we want to close the public hearing or keep it open, or what do we want to do?
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I do have one question, just because it's going back to the sewer and the water. So is the sewer department going to issue a sewer connection?
Well, I think we're going to do the same thing. So
Okay, yeah.
I mean,
I just
I think
I know you didn't. I know we're talking about
I think
sewer,
I think we're gonna have to condition this, upon obtaining a favorable water and or sewer connection. And if they decide to go forward with a well instead of water, they need to put a well in first before they can even get a building permit, Steve, right? They have to demonstrate that it's potable, right?
Yeah, through the Board of Health. I need something.
And then so they can't get their permit till that's all done, correct?
Correct.
And then they need to get a sewer agreement. So, I mean, I think all we can do is they either have to get town water, they have to get a well, they have to get sewer. Right? And they can't move forward. We can't do any final sign-offs, and you can't issue a building permit until we have it. That's
Same
all,
as the other project, unless I get sign-offs.
that's all we can do.
Steve, I have a question about the well, because I heard the chairman mention earlier that the rumor is that you'll have water in July. Is there a way for me to get a permit for the well and hold off and actually drilling the well in case they get town water that I could tie into?
I would say that I would need something from the Board of Health, because the Board of Health is the one that determines well and water, and maybe he can use a ratio of a close by one to say that the water is in good standings for that. And I mean, yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, and on top of that too, I think if you were to change as well too, we would probably request for a minor modification to be done, because we do have some projects in town that thought that they could go from water tie-ins to a well, where it's like they haven't come before this board to discuss that change. So I think it would be a minor modification if that were to occur. I don't see it being an issue. It's just a matter of having the correct details on the plan and making sure that we know what the tie-in size is going to be and where it's going to be located.
Yeah, and just for clarification, I don't want to represent that water is going to be available in July. I've been watching the meetings like everybody else, and they're talking about the filtration system and things hopefully being better in July. So whether the water department says we're going to allow hookups again in July or August or 2 years from now, I have no idea. I mean, I'm hoping I'd rather see a project like this because it is in the zone 2 and you're taking the water from the same well field anyway. I'd rather see it tied into town water and sewer, but that's me. And all we can do now is, after talking to the town attorney, is give conditional approvals that you have to demonstrate you have potable water and sewer before you can move forward. So we can't meet that standard now. We have a standard that has to be met that you have to demonstrate you have adequate utilities, which at this point we don't know if you do or you don't. So we have to condition this approval, and you need to work that out.
We're working out with the Board of Health.
Yeah, I guess I'll work it out with the Board of Health. I just was wondering if maybe I could access water from my adjacent property at Sullivan Tire Building to get through this, so I can start construction.
That would be a question for water department. And we typically hold pre-construction meetings anyways, so that you could bring that up at that point. I know based on your timeline too, we'd probably have a pre-construction meeting sooner than later. But that's something we can discuss through water in terms of timing, because from that meeting, then you'll probably have an understanding if you could utilize and access that water, or if they're going to say, we're not signing off for a permit and considering this until you drill a well.
Okay.
I just don't want to be, the planning board is not representing water and water capacity or anything.
As well as water regulations and all that jazz.
Yeah, I understand.
I think all we can do is give a very strict condition that it needs to be worked out before you can move forward, and that needs to be demonstrated to us before we sign off. So
would a letter, so if we get a well put in, we don't have to come back for a hearing, right? That's more of an administrative thing.
For a well, no,
I'm saying for the planning board to sign off on this once we prove that we're putting a well in.
Yeah, when I say sign off, it's when everything's met. Mr. O'Brien signs off for the planning board and the building permit.
Okay.
Once all our conditions are met. So if we put a condition in there that you have to demonstrate you have water and sewer, then either the Board of Health or the water department has to sign off on the water and the sewer department has to sign off on the sewer. Then the planning board can sign off, right, Shane? And then,
yeah, we can do it based on that order of operations. That's fine.
Okay.
We typically are the last sign off anyways, and people go, hey, what's up? I need a CO.
All right. So do we want to continue discussion? Do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
By Mr. Greenberg. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
By Mr. Praddy. Any discussion? No? I'll take the roll. Mr. Fabrowski?
Yes.
Mr. Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Praddy?
Yes.
Mr. Geller?
Yes.
And me, yes. Okay, so Shane did provide us with some standard comments. I mean, my big concern is that it is in a zone 2 and it is an auto parts store. So I just want to make sure that Shane, we craft some type of condition that you have to comply with the zone 2 for all uses.
Yep. And that's we'll do that in perpetuity as well too. So
well, and then I just want to make sure that what they demonstrated is followed. So there's not going to be 50-gallon drums for car dealers and things like that stored on the site. It's more homeowner, retail, smaller quantities in quarts and gallons. So I don't know how we word that, but it should be how they represented it. So.
Yeah, it's the way that they represented it was that this is a neighborhood retail property, and that they would have to conform to our aquifer protection as well as all just basic safety standards. You know, there's no open storage of drums and all that stuff on the plan, so based on the plans provided, there's no expectation of outdoor storage other than the dumpster that they provided.
Okay. Mr. Tanzi, I should ask this question before. Are there oil water separators and are there floor drains in this building? No.
If I may answer the question, I know you closed the public input, but yeah, there is a oil water separator because there is a loading area that has an overhead door that the plumbing code would require us to have a floor drain going into an oil water separator.
Okay.
The only thing I would add, Mr. Chair, I noted it a couple times on the memo packet, but I didn't do it in the conditions, is that I'd like to have that information about the cross easements as part of the plan. So I just want to make sure we add that we need cross easements to be provided to us, and those cross easements be recorded and run with the deeds of both properties.
Yeah, I would like we obviously have to have the water and sewer language in there, and you and I can work on that, but it's basically the permit needs to be conditioned upon successful negotiations to either get water and sewer or a well and sewer to move forward. And then I would like to have a condition in there that we talk about the removal of the existing use in the trailer within 30 days of completion, and only a temporary occupancy can be issued until.
That's fulfilled. Okay.
So if he wants to remove it before they open, we give him CO right away.
Yeah, that's a conversation I'll have to have with Steve because
How you
I'll
want
have to, it's essentially he'll be granting the TCO on that. And I wouldn't be signing off. It would be they would grant the TCO and then 30 days after that I would be able to sign off, I guess, for the planning board. Or I would sign off and then just say it's only for a TCO. But that's fine if we want to add that as a condition.
And then another condition is that the just the same as we did with Main Street, the building be built as represented with that split block, et cetera.
Yeah, it builds in accordance to provided plans. That's fine.
Any other things we should consider? I tried to summarize what we talked about, but is there anything else? Mr. Pratty, you look like you're thinking.
No, I think I'm all set. I know that on the original discussions on the first meeting, that you were talking about that north side line drifting, whether you needed more space or needed more space for the parking in front, etc. That line now is established. Is that correct? So now that plan, this new updated plan, is an established line for that.
Right. So I think that's a great point. So a Form A needs to be submitted prior to endorsement of these plans.
I have a comment on that. One is we haven't been through conservation. So in case they have some issue that may require us to move that line, I'd rather not commit to that line being exact.
Well, I don't think that the board is committing to the line per se. I think the board is committing that you would have to come back before the board for an endorsement of a Form A where you would show what that line would be. So I think we acknowledge that the line could potentially move a little bit. But it's just you would have to come back before planning board for an endorsement. It doesn't require a public hearing. But that the board review that plan, endorse it, and then you would record that at the Registry of Deeds.
Well, I'd say, Shane, it would probably be, if that line changes, that line was represented in the public hearing. So we do a Form A based on that line. I mean, that's what we had before, and that's what we're approving. If that line needs to change, we can handle it as a minor modification.
Yeah, whatever. They would be here for a meeting anyways to represent that. So I think both of them could be, because we've done that with other projects where we've had a Form A come before us in a modification, same meeting.
Right. I mean, so if this is the plan set that we're looking to approve tonight, we want to move forward on approval. So if I think Shane, prior to endorsement, we need a Form A submitted.
Okay.
As shown.
Okay.
And if the Form A changes, then we'll have to do a minor modification of the plan.
Which is fine. Once the Form A is received, I can review it, and if it's the same, then we won't have an issue. And if there is, then we'll just throw a minor modification at the same meeting.
Yeah. Because things might change. I mean, the whole zoning analysis was based off of that 2.7 acres.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, I got the list.
Anything else that we can think of, guys? But my main thing is that we protect the zone too, and we have language in there that they can't store large quantities. And what large quantities are, I mean, we're gonna have to figure. If it's more they're demonstrating this as neighborhood retail. It should be neighborhood retail. It shouldn't be wholesale, right? It shouldn't be wholesale 50-gallon drums going out.
Correct.
Steve, do you agree with that? Was that how your zoning determination was determined?
Yeah, I mean, based on the letter that I got from the engineer and the bylaws, it pretty much was self-explanatory. Basically, that letter says how they're going to store. So, basically, large quantity is not going to be done 50-gallon drums or large wholesale. It basically explained that in the letter that was sent to you guys from the engineer.
Yeah, because that was a concern I had initially, because
Yep.
I said, how are we
Yep.
gonna get around this? And then we get the letter from the engineer, and then you weighed in. So I was comfortable
I
after.
basically followed the two sections of that bylaw that talked about both items, just as the letter did.
Yeah, because there's also what they call, like, if it was a car repair shop, they have to be an extremely small generator, and there's a definition for that in terms of quantity. So I just want to make sure that that's what's represented. So anything else? Jen, you got all those?
Yeah, I got a list. I got a really good like thing going on with like your motions and all that stuff, so I don't have to watch the 2.5 hour meeting.
I don't know. I just don't turn on AI and have it write the minutes for you.
Hey, shame on. I'm a human.
All right.
What do you think
All
they
right.
can just replace part 50 or 25% of this department?
All right. So, any other conditions? Shane, you want to read those back?
Sure. 292 Bedford Street, basic conditions that we have in the memo they provided. Language that talks about perpetuity, and making sure that they meet the Zone 2 requirements of the aquifer protection. They demonstrate that they're utilizing neighborhood retail as per the plans. They talk about
But I also want to have something that talks about they do what they say they're going to do. There's going to be no large quantities, and we can look up what large quantity. We don't want things stored in there that aren't represented.
Sure. Yeah, they're demonstrating that they're utilizing neighborhood retail and not beyond that. Floor drains they incorporate information about floor drains to be in the property, cross easements in the property, language about water and sewer approval, removal of the trailer. They'd be granted a TCO and they would be given 30 days to remove it for a CO. Building in accordance to the provided plans, and then a Form A would be needed to be submitted prior to endorsement.
Right. That reflects what they show on these plans.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
I'm sure that they would want us to stop adding conditions.
I think I'm good with that.
I think I am as well.
Anyway, all right. So, do we have a
Mr. Chairman, may I make a motion to approve the plan?
by Mr. Praddy with Shane's standard
conditions, yes.
and the conditions we added this evening?
Correct.
Okay.
And I'll second.
But Mr. Praddy, second by Mr. Greenberg. All right. So I'll take the roll. I'll go reverse order. Mr. Geller,
Yes.
Mr. Praddy,
Yes.
Mr. Greenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Fabrowski,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. So thank you very much.
All right, very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you for your time
luck,
tonight,
gentlemen.
gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All right.
gentlemen.
Good night.
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 All right. Shane, other business. I know you sent over meeting minutes.
Yeah, I sent you guys over. I like to get the site visit minutes done as quick as possible. So I sent the April 15th site visit minutes, as well as we've had the December 3rd meeting minutes on for a while. I don't know if anyone's had the opportunity to review.
Motion to approve both, Mr. Chairman. I did read them.
So how about December 17th, Shane?
They're in a rough format. They're like 75% of the way there. I just need to touch them up before. I think there's a couple of things that are just highlighted that I have to go back on and rewatch, and just kind of confirm some stuff. That was a meeting that we had the minor mod for what's it? Old Stable Estates and some other stuff on there too. It's kind of a meeting where I want to kind of catch some things and have it kind of things verbatim on there too. So I just want to go back and add some stuff, but I should have that for the next meeting.
All right. So we have we have a motion to approve December 3rd and April 15th. And that was by Mr. Praddy. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Geller, any discussion? So we'll take the roll. Mr. Fabrowski,
Yes.
Mr. Greenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Praddy,
Yes.
Mr. Geller,
Yes.
and yes. Okay. Board items for next meeting, Shane, May 20th.
Looks like we got I think just Moxie Way, unless something else comes up in my own head. I think Moxie Way and then something else got continued from
All right, so can I mention something about Moxie Way?
Yes, yes.
On the same page. I would like you to reach back out to the applicant. I mean, if I don't think it's beneficial to have a site walk one-on-one without an engineer there to give us a site walk.
Right.
So if the applicant isn't going to let us all on the site and post a meeting, which would allow the abutters on there, I don't have interest in doing the site walk. And I mean, I think you should reach out to the applicant.
Yeah, I just as a point of clarity for those not involved in just watching from a public setting. So it's kind of a situation where we're looking to typically we hold a site walk, and it's a site walk qualifies if we have a quorum there for a open meeting. But there are some concerns in terms of, the owner in terms of letting abutting or neighbors or guests on the property. So that does become an issue in terms of open meeting law and what the board does. So we're still trying to work that out. I'll reach back out to the applicant. We'll have to figure something out. But I reached out to legal counsel regarding this, and it's clear in terms of how open meeting law works. Like there could be something if the board could make it like a private site visit, but then no questions have to be asked and no one talks. But I don't see that being advisable in terms of what you guys are looking to do.
And logistically, I mean, if I do a site walk and I don't know how everybody else feels, but I think Mr. Silver's office is the representative here, if I remember. I like to have the engineer there so we can ask questions and get familiar with the site. If we can't ask questions and we can't be there with more than two people, and I just don't see how it's that beneficial.
Yeah, I'll try to. Oh, go ahead.
So that was I have a list of questions for this meeting, and that was one of them. Yeah, I'm not pleased with that for those same reasons.
So I'll reach back out to the engineer. I'll get something. I'm hoping to get something together prior to that 20th because obviously you guys want to see the site before that meeting. So I'll try to.
I would say to the applicant that if we can't do a site walk,
I don't think and to be honest, I don't think the concern.
And post it as a meeting and have the engineer there. I don't see. I think we probably have to continue that meeting.
Yeah, and I don't see the issue being necessarily the board attending a site walk. I think it's just the openness of the site walk. But that's something we can't really, do something about. It's I can't have a quorum of you guys somewhere and say, "Hey, sorry, y'all, bad optics." So right. I'll still I'll talk to town council and I'll talk to the owner and see if we can figure something out. I'll have an email response to you guys, but if we're going to have obviously a site walk, it'll be posted properly. But in between that time, I'll get some answers.
Yeah, I just think we either do a site walk or we don't. So if they're not going to let us, we'll just have to consider that. So
sure thing.
That's Dan, you deal with site walks all the time, I'm sure, right? The board in most towns post it and everybody goes, right?
Yep.
I mean, in all my years on there, I've never had been not able to post it as a public meeting and invite whoever wants to go.
Sure. Yeah, and like I said, it's not necessarily not inviting particular board members. It's an issue of abutting property owners.
Okay.
All righty.
Just so you know, Mr. Chair, I will not be in attendance on May 20th meeting.
Okay. I think we should have at least KJ and Eric, so we should be fine.
And I will not be there for the June 3rd meeting. I will be in Aruba for my yearly vacation.
You could just say June 3rd end conversation. Steve Geller is also
I just can't
going
wait
to
to watch
Aruba.
you guys on Mullins again on the tape. That'd be great.
I'm going to take some meetings off and also be at Aruba for all those meetings.
I'm going to Europe.
Tom, if you were dedicated, you'd do the meeting from Aruba.
You're right. I was going to say that, but I would not be married anymore. So it's either planning board or marriage. And after 40 years, I don't think I'm going to give that one up.
She goes to the divvy, you go to the tamarind.
All right. So Shane, is there anything else on the 20th?
I thought I had something else, but I would say I think we continued the zoning amendment to the 20th, and then we have Moxie Way for the 20th. So I think those are the two items we have for right now.
Very productive meeting, fellas.
How about the open space?
Yeah, we can push that probably over to the 20th as well too. I just wanted to bring it back onto the agenda because I know we've had some busier meetings lately, but I think we should kind of go back around and acknowledge it. And if even then too, I think introducing it to the back to the CED, the new CED committee too, I think we can kind of have some healthier conversations and workshop it out again.
Okay, so next is board and committee reports. I actually have one, so because I'm still the liaison to the CPC, so I think it's some good news as far as like open space and recreation. The CPC approved the plan to move forward with the new athletic complex slash fields now that the town owns the old high school. So I don't know if anybody that has kids in town, you go back there for lacrosse practice, football practice. It's been the same way since the school was built in the 60s. The ground's like concrete. It's very little grass. It's in tough shape. There's an old tennis court there. And so the intent is to basically rehab that whole site for a new multi-purpose complex. One full field, maybe two half fields. At some point, upgrade the tennis courts, get the old tennis courts that are abandoned out of there. Do some grading. It went out to bid. Silver Engineering was awarded the bid. 3 bids came in, and I'm the liaison for CPC to that project. So Larry's Mr. Silva's firm is tasked with designing it and coming up with quantities and documents that can be bid out to refurbish those fields as grass fields that'll be irrigated. So it should be a really nice addition
Nice.
to sports.
Nice.
So, and then the Hanson Farm dedication, because Hanson Farm was purchased. I was unable to attend that, but they had that a couple of weeks ago, I believe. So, but that's it for CPC.
Cool.
So Shane, you want to?
Sure. So we had a public forum a couple weeks ago. So I'm working on the open space and recreation plan update. So we're having a second forum next Thursday. It's going to be completely Zoom, like our meetings sometimes. The last one was hybrid, well, not hybrid, it was in person. But it'll be May 14th at 6 o'clock. The link's right here. Use your QR code. If you're staring at the screen right now, you can go to the meeting page, but follow along. So we're going to be launching pretty much a draft of the plan pretty much after that meeting. We'll have a review period for public comment. We'll accept some public comment at this up meeting, but I think I definitely got to add that the 3 fields that the CPC is working on as part of that discussion. But it's just game planning for open space and rec for the next 10 years. Make sure that we're eligible for grants. But we would love to hear public feedback. I always feel bad because like the last meeting that I kind of promoted it, and as well as this meeting, we're like 2.5 hours into a meeting, and I'm like, oh, everyone left. But it just in terms of planning board members, I'm gonna have to probably bring once we get a document in a format that's a little more of a draft format, I'm gonna have to put it on an agenda, and I'll let you guys kind of look at it. And hope for your endorsement of that. So I'll be going around to the different boards and commissions in terms of looking for support letters for this open space and rec plan, because we're looking to get this to the state prior to the grant funding ending at the end of the fiscal year. So I just want to prep you guys for that. And if you're interested in attending the May 14th meeting, feel free to check out the link or check out it'll probably be posted on YouTube afterwards too, but feel free to ask any questions and I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you.
Yeah. Or any staff or board comments? Questions? So we have public comment as well on anything that we didn't cover tonight. Is there any public that would like to speak?
Don't see any virtual hands raised. I don't see anyone in the chat, Mr. Chair. So all the public have gone home and they're snoozing in their beds.
But I would agree with what Mr. Pratty said. We get some stuff done tonight, which is good. So
Now you guys just approve everything. That's the problem.
what's that?
Sorry, snarky comment. No, I think it was good. I think, Tom rewatching the last meeting, we spent a lot of time, but we asked questions and you guys
Really?
done a
Excellent
good
meetings.
job.
Yeah.
So it'll be nice to get a nice little rest for you guys.
It's just 4 Moxie Way. So who said they weren't? Steve wasn't going to be there. He said, right?
Right.
Correct.
But Steve, were you there for the first Moxie Way or no?
Yeah, everyone was here. That was the March 18th meeting, correct?
Yep.
So everyone was there for March 18th.
So if you want to circle back, you'll just have to do a mull and watch the video for that meeting.
Yeah, because also too, they could if for some reason they could request a continuance as well too. So we'll keep things posted on that.
Yeah. All right. Item 6, adjourn. Somebody want a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Mr. Geller, do a second.
I will second.
Mr. Pratty,
Roll call.
and I'll do the roll. Mr. Pratty,
Yes.
Mr. Bobrowski,
Yes.
Mr. Greenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Geller,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. So good night, everyone.
Night, everyone.
Nice
Good
job,
night,
Pat.
everyone.
Good night, boys.
Take care, y'all. Take
All right.
care.
Take care, guys.